Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle.
This is a very special edition.
Yes, happy NFL kickoff day, everybody.
Go Birds.
Go Dolphins, fins up.
Go Birds.
Fins up.
This is the One Team We Agree On, and
It's
not, we don't agree on football teams.
No, but hey, whether you're a Dolphins fan, an Eagles fan, whatever fan you are, enjoy the NFL season because this is obviously a fun time of the year for a lot of football fans. College football's back.
We are.
Yes, we are.
We do agree on Penn State.
We do. So maybe it's two teams.
We agree on one pro team.
Correct.
And that is Union. College is different.
Do we agree on the Philadelphia Wings?
I don't really know lacrosse, though.
Is anybody out there a Philadelphia Wings fan? If so, please comment. Is that something we should check out?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never even watched a lacrosse game.
I have watched a couple on TV. It looks like a good time.
Actually, I lied. I have watched the Wings maybe once when they were actually playing on NBC Philly.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's where I saw them too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
Can we at least agree on the fact that Dallas sucks?
Yes. Yes. 100% agree on they suck, the Jets suck, the New York Giants suck.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about the Jets.
Well, I know
they're like my AFC team.
Well, so anyway...
it's because of my dad. He liked them too, like my whole family. Like we are first and foremost Eagles fans, but they're kind of like our secondary team, the Jets.
But at the end of the day, whatever team you agree on, enjoy the NFL season. And so I had an interesting week. I was in Dallas for the American Swim Coaches Association World Clinic.
Yeah. Oh, and hold up before we go any further.
Okay.
You forgot something.
What?
What are we wearing?
Oh,
because some people are listening and not watching, especially.
True.
So before we dive into that, okay.
But go ahead.
I am wearing the first Eagles jersey I ever got, which is my black Eagles jersey with Brian Westbrook, and I got this when he was still playing and I was in college. So I love this one. It is my favorite. And I have not gotten Kelly Green yet. So I do plan on that at some point. So yeah, go Birds.
And I actually do love that jersey. That is a very sharp jersey. I'm rocking the aqua and orange Tua jersey. I got this for Christmas the year after he was drafted as a rookie. And yes, I love Tua. Dan Marino is still my favorite quarterback as a Dolphin, but I think the Dolphins are going to go as far as Tua goes this year. And if he can stay healthy, then we're going to be good. If he can't, well, it's not going to be a great season.
His O-line better keep him safe from
you know how I feel about that.
Hassan Reddick and the boys on, I think it's the 22nd of October, whenever that is in October.
I'm not looking forward to that day.
But anyway.
So yeah, no, I was in Dallas all week at the Swim Coaches Convention. Had a wonderful time. Got to see a couple former assistants. It was great. Spent some time networking, learning a lot. But hey, was able to make it up to Frisco, see the National Soccer Hall of Fame, check out FC Dallas. We're going to cover that. Talk to some people up there, share my thoughts. Also want to dive into, it's an international break, and some of the Union players are representing their countries, which is great to see.
Indeed.
Until we had some scares, and we're going to talk about that. And then, hey, it's childhood cancer.
Yep.
Something near and dear to my heart, as a lot of people it is.
Yep.
And FC Cincinnati's in town. So we got maybe a shorter episode, but we're going to get right into it. So
yeah. So Kyle, overall impression, before we get into the nitty gritty of it. Okay. So we all agree Dallas's football team sucks, but how about the city itself?
So that's a great question. So overall, it's a very spacious city. Like, you know how we go to some cities and it's just big buildings. Like, there'll be like a block or two of like tall buildings, and then there's a block of nothing. It almost reminds me of Vegas to a certain point, where it's like really spread out. Has anybody been to Dallas? Like, there are very tall buildings.
I've only been to the airport, so I couldn't comment.
But it's just a weird thing. So, like, the airport, Dallas-Fort Worth, it's like 30 minutes, 35 minutes to downtown Dallas, and that's where we stayed, for the convention. Um, and then, like, Frisco, where FC Dallas plays, is, like, 45 minutes north. Arlington's, like, 45 minutes to an hour away. So, like, all their sports teams are, like, really spread out. You wanna talk about the Union playing in Chester?
'Cause Chester's pretty close to Philly.
Right, like, you gotta go, like, an hour, 45 minutes on traffic, like, somebody was telling me at the, soccer shop that both the guys that were working are season ticket holders. On game day, it can take up to an hour, hour and 15 minutes from downtown Dallas to get up to
Mm,
Frisco, so, I mean that's almost like us traveling from home, like, maybe
yeah.
30 minutes more for
I say
us.
because it's like an hour and a half for us to get to the Union
Yeah,
games,
so
so
I found that very interesting. Um, it's r how should I say this? It's a cool town. Would I go back? Yes. Good barbecue. Had a little bit of barbecue. Had some ramen. Had they had this farmers market that was exceptional. Reminded me of LA, the market we went to.
mhm,
That was really good. Outside of that, I mean, where we stayed was very art district. Had some great sushi. It's a good town. I mean,
nice.
didn't feel like it was awful.
Mhm,
Like, there wasn't a lot of homeless, and that was something that, I was, like, kinda surprised about.
mm,
Uh, Very clean. Just a lot another thing that was very interesting to me was they had a trolley system
yeah.
and train system running through town, so you
Like an
get to
actual trolley system, like, on
yeah,
tracks?
yeah, on tracks, and then
That's
they
cool.
also had trains, above ground train
Like a
system.
light rail kinda deal,
Yeah,
or
yeah, so
nice.
you get to a lot of places. We did go on the trolley a little bit. They had some good steakhouses. We went to a happy hour late and, we had some steak. So yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome.
So, before we get started, make sure you subscribe and please interact with us. We'd love to hear from you. Again, leave a comment. Have you ever been to Dallas? And if so, what are your thoughts? And then you can follow us on Twitter at TOTWAG, on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On, and we're on YouTube, Google, Apple, and Spotify. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk a little bit international news. Union were off this past week. We had several call-ups. Ty to Israel, Bizo to Cameroon, Blake and Lowe went to Jamaica, obviously. Jesus Bueno, first call up to Venezuelan team, and then Jose again. And then, Gazdag to Hungary. But against he didn't play because of the injury he
Right.
got at Red Bulls. So
I am glad he gets to at least rest.
yeah, me
I mean
too. I mean, with as many games as the Union's played this year, at least he gets I mean, international breaks are what they are, but at least,
mhm.
he'll be able to rest up and get ready for this last home stretch. But
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have to do, an MLS game this week like several teams had to do.
so that brings up a question. I saw this across Twitter and social media. Should MLS just kind of cancel games over the international break?
I think it's kind of BS that they do MLS games on the international break, to be honest.
Hmm.
So, um, I don't know, it just it sucked when we had to do that earlier in the season, and, it didn't affect us this time, but
It
certainly
has.
certainly it definitely affected teams that played last night.
It did. Although,
And
unless
not
you're not unless you're Miami.
of course, I thought, "Oh, maybe Miami will finally lose," but,
So is this
mhm,
more the equation of Messi or Tata Martino?
it's a good question.
It is a good question. Now,
I think
Messi,
Messi has brought a certain,
yes,
like,
correct. We're not gonna say,
amount
yeah. I mean,
there's
we're
the
not
Messi effect, basically.
somebody's like, wait a minute, are you saying Tata could do if they didn't have Messi, Tata? No, I'm not saying
We
that.
forget
What
I mean, they do have other good players,
Tata's a good coach. I mean, he won a
and
cup in Atlanta.
yeah,
So
it's literally, like, a completely different team than what was before Leagues Cup, basically.
correct, correct. Obviously not having Messi hurts.
They got
Uh,
scored on first, but, then
but
they
at the end of the
did their
day,
thing.
when you have good coaching and superstar player like him and
They still had Jordi Alba and they had
yeah.
Busquets in that game.
I
Plus,
mean, when you
they
have
have other
these great
players.
players, I mean, regardless of if you have Messi, you're going to win a lot of games in MLS. Let's be honest. So
Callender did not look good on some of those plays though, big time. Like
no, he
he's
didn't. No, he didn't. So
I thought, oh man, he's gonna get scored on a few times, but they battled back.
anyway, probably half the people tuned out already because we're
So that's
talking.
all we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
that. So
but let's talk a little bit here about Union because this is a Union podcast. First off, so we have all these players going. It
mhm.
looks great, and then we get the report earlier this week that Jesus, after a great season, earned his spot on the Venezuelan national team,
So
playing
happy
like.
for him.
Me too. I mean, I was happy when we signed him.
Oh, for sure. We've been high on Bueno forever.
Yeah, and just see him come up through U2 now, starting to make an impact. To get another knee injury now, that's God's
Mhm.
dog, and it's Bueno. So I mean, these injuries are starting to pile up. And now I did check in with Jose, and he said he hasn't heard anything confirmed. But
Jose Nunez,
yeah,
shout out.
shut up. But at the end of the day, like, if Jim's going to say, he's out, that's a huge loss because you don't want to rely on Ali. And I know Jim loves Ali, but we can't rely on him. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Especially with Cincy coming to town,
We
like
need to be 100%.
correct. And obviously we already lost Flock probably for the year.
Yeah.
Maybe playoffs if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But even then, is he gonna be 100%? That's the
Right.
question. I mean, at this point, I'd rather shut him down as a coach. Looking at the coach's lens, shut him down. Make sure he's healthy.
Yeah.
And let's go into next year. But I mean, you had that, and then okay, so that's okay. And then you get the reports. I saw, I think it was Jimmy and a couple other people when I was in Dallas. I looked it down and Jamaica was playing, and it's
They're
like,
like, where's Andre?
where's Andre? And everybody's like,
Oh, everyone's starting to panic.
And they just had flu.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
like, okay, thank goodness.
Okay.
And plus, even before that, I had seen on Andre's Instagram story that said like, God's, it's God's plan or something. And I'm like, oh God, what's going on? Yeah.
Well, if it's God's plan, I mean, just get rest.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm not worried about it because to me, the international break is represent the union well, stay healthy.
Yes.
And, then come back to the union because, yes, it's great that the union prioritize, these players wanting to represent their country.
Yeah, we're happy for them. And,
absolutely,
that's an honor to represent their country.
At the same time, with as many games as we've played, we want them to stay healthy.
Yeah. We need him for the rest of the season here.
Because I don't want to hear Andre still sick.
God, no.
I'm not even putting that out there. So
no, don't even bring that up.
But
can't think about that. Yeah. So,
but hey,
Jamaica still won, so good for them.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you love to see these guys playing. So
yeah. So I mean, there was plenty to watch, even though we had, the break for us going on. We had plenty of stuff to watch. I mean, yesterday I was watching the USA versus Uzbekistan. Then I watched the MLS games that were on. If you guys watched the ending of that Minnesota New England game.
I saw that goal you sent me. Wow.
Wow, that was exciting. I mean, honestly, if I wasn't like a Union fan and stuff, I could get behind Minnesota only because I like their unis. I'm sounding like you now, but this is why Kyle likes the Dolphins. Anyway, he liked their unis as a kid, and he liked Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Kyle, the look you just gave me.
Yeah, don't be saying I liked him for the unis.
But that was part of it.
I did.
But the way that Dane St. Clair ran up there, though, and
shout out to University of Maryland. Todd Lewis is big. So I'll tell you a funny story about this. So when Dane got drafted, like his first year was kind of shaky, and I said to Todd before we played Minnesota last year, and this is me just being like not really knowing who he was. I was like, well, at least it's not Dane St. Clair. And Todd goes, don't
that's
bust
Todd's boy.
Don't bust on my university soccer boy, Dane Sinclair. And apparently, he's a good keeper. Like, he's good. he's a very good keeper. He's young. He's got a good future in MLS, and maybe eventually he'll go international. Who knows?
But yeah, if you missed it, basically, I mean, we're in the waning seconds of stoppage time and New England's up 1-0. And Minnesota, like they're basically, I mean, this is it. This last play goes off New England guy's face or head or something. And all of a sudden, yeah, there's Dane St. Clair hits the ball over and it gets knocked in. I forget who scored.
Frankopani.
Yeah, Frankopani. He hit it in and yeah, and
so
that was fun. That was fun to watch. As someone who's totally neutral. Well, I wasn't totally neutral. I was hoping Minnesota could tie it up because that helps us.
Yeah, right.
But that was really fun to watch.
And credit Dane for like realizing like he was wide open coming down that side, and like as a keeper, you're not into skilled attacking positions,
right.
But credit for him to play that ball right in, nice ball, goal.
Could you imagine Andre doing something like that? I'd be afraid Andre would go get hurt. I want to see that. I mean, no, that would be really fun though. I want to see Dre get an assist.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Dre takes a free kick goal.
Or which team was it that their keeper was like their PK taker? That was one of the Mexican teams.
Oh my gosh, it begins with T's. Somebody's yelling it right now. Oh
yeah,
it's that. No, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it.
Yeah, Kyle, you'll get roasted if you do. But
yeah, but
anyway, that was cool. But anyway, so there was some exciting stuff there, and then stayed up and watched the LAFC Portland game, which
and I got home. I got home right in time for the second half, and yeah, I mean, I really think, and again, I go back to what I said with Polmy when we were, evaluating all the fashion. Las Vegas Lights fans were not huge Steve Trungolo fans, and now I'm seeing more and more people saying, "Is the door shut?" And the guy won an MLS Cup. You gotta give him a few more years. As a coach, you don't ever want to see somebody go out, but I think he thought. But there's also the thing of too much success too soon.
Well, I think it's caught up with LAFC with how many games they've played.
That too. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because again, here's another team that's played a lot of games. I mean, they made it to the finals, the CCL. I think they made it farther than the Union in the US Cup. Yeah. And they made it to what? They lost to Monterrey in the quarterfinals. So
they made it pretty deep into.
They've made deep into some competitions. They probably played. In fact, I think they have played more games in the Union to this point, or like right there. So there's.
Yeah, that's me salivating over later in September when they come to visit the Sub.
I mean, that's gonna be an exciting game.
It is. It is. I hope we freaking throttle them. But I take pleasure in seeing Portland beat them. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Plus, I like Portland's unis; like those look good. So, I mean,
that's a game I want to go to.
Yeah.
That's like on my bucket list of away games right now.
Right. That and Real Salt Lake and Seattle. Like those are on our list of places to go. We want to definitely go to a new stadium next year. We want to keep doing like a new away trip.
So let's talk about Dallas again.
Yeah. So
yeah, when the convention was announced, one of the first things I remember, I was in the press box versus Red Bulls. Like that was the one thing I was looking at. Because I got in Tuesday, the conference didn't start till the evening on Wednesday, and they were closed Tuesday, obviously, but they had a deal on Wednesdays, and this is just, if you ever get to Dallas and you're going to maybe a Wednesday game against FC Dallas, now it might be different during game day, but they have a deal. It's $5 Wednesday, so normally I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks, but on Wednesdays it's only $5, so pay your $5 ticket, you can go in and walk around the Hall of Fame. So just with the scheduling though, there were some talks that morning, and I was thinking maybe of going to one, but it was sold out. And then a couple of my assistants were hanging out, and we were talking the night before, like, we want to kind of tour the city, and it started going plans away from me making this trip. So yeah, I think when I talked to you on Tuesday night, it was like 40, 60, I was going to go because we had other plans. But
Right.
when we woke up the next morning, a spot opened in a couple learning academies. So a couple of my former assistants decided to go. And so there I am. I'm like, okay, if you guys are going to that, I'm heading up to Frisco. So yeah, that was kind of game plan. And it opened at 1:30, so I was trying to time it, and then I saw that they had a soccer store, and we'll get into this in 1 second. So if you want to skip ahead, you don't want to hear any of our more thoughts on Soccer Hall of Fame. Um, this will be about a 15-minute, 20-minute,
That long?
maybe not.
I don't think that long.
Well,
Mm.
maybe 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, so I decided to go up and check out the store because the store Soccer 90 had a lot of MLS kits and like, some of the new stuff. They also had a lot of USA soccer stuff, and then they also had smattering of international stuff. So I wanted to
Mhm.
go check it out. I didn't get anything, but we are going to share some stuff here. Again, I apologize if there's lagging. We're on Zoom today, not Riverside. Um, and sometimes it lags. So we're going to go ahead and share the screen. All right. So I got up there about 45 minutes before it opened up, and the big statue in front here, um, really nice statue. Now,
Someone doing a bicycle.
yeah, and so that was the first thing, and then so we went go into the store, and right away, all I see is MLS kits,
I
and
see some Union kits there.
yeah, I see some Union kits too, but the first thing I was drawn to is one of my kits early on that I don't think the Bruce Lee kit from Seattle. Seeing it in person, it's better than anything we saw on Twitter.
Is it?
Yeah, I love this kit. And again, I think it's now my number one again. I think it beats Minnesota. I love
How'd
this.
Minnesota one look in person? Was
They
it?
did not have it.
They didn't have
They didn't have that. They did not have the Toronto kit either.
no.
Those are the two kits I was hoping they had, and
And they're my two favorite ones. Yeah.
yeah, because if they actually had that Minnesota kit, I was going to surprise you.
But I don't really do kits from other teams,
I know,
but
but
I
match it.
appreciate the kit. Yeah.
But you also matches your shoes.
It does. It
You
does.
could do something fun with that.
Yeah, but I would never actually wear a kit from another team. That's the thing.
True.
But I can definitely appreciate that. And
This
I hate
is
to say I like this one too.
I was actually I was looking at it. It's even better. Like this picture does it no justice. It's even better in person. Like if you see this kit, it is so sweet. And I hate NYCFC,
And
but
can I tell you how much I hate seeing Perea up there with NYC and wearing that jersey? It's just like, I like Perea and I like the jersey, but I
at
don't
least
like
he's getting
NYC.
playing time.
I know, I'm happy for him that he's doing well, and we did not give an option to buy with him.
No,
So
but
that looks
maybe if he does well,
you know who
he
else is playing well is Odata. I don't know if you've been seeing
yeah,
that.
well,
I know. I wish we
and
could
now
work them
here
in.
is Blunder. Well,
Yeah.
not Blunder.
I
That's
mean, I appreciate what they were trying to do there,
this
but
is a Blunder kit.
not a fan.
Sorry, Tom, I'm not trying to knock you off, but this
Not a
is
fan.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Atlanta graffiti one.
I actually kind of like this in person.
That's better than the
The yellow?
yellow one that they wear.
I
They
agree.
should been better off going with that one. That one actually looks a lot better.
I agree with that.
The
It's
yellow
actually
is
really
ugly.
sharp.
The yellow one that they wear is ugly in my opinion, but
And then here's some USA stuff. They had a little corner with all the USA men's and women's.
now you could have
kit.
gotten me USA stuff, I would have been cool with it.
I actually was
I like the
looking at,
women's paint splatter one.
yeah, the plain splatter one's nice. I also like this red one here.
Yeah, see, you could have got me one of those. That would have been cool.
And then here's the overall, like,
Yeah.
store. They had some Chelsea. Here's a couple other things. They had the AC Milan away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I really, in person, the Real Salt Lake kit this year, really nice.
It's okay.
I like it's clean.
Yeah.
And there's
Can I tell you, like, that the, second kit for the Union, that one really grew on me.
I'm still kind of like, okay.
It just, the amount it was hyped up though, saying, oh, this is gonna be so different and everything. And
I get that,
I was
but
expecting more,
uh,
but I like it. It's definitely one of the better ones.
it is.
I mean, I like, especially when you understand it's supposed to be like the smoke and the water and stuff. It's not
Correct, yeah.
camo. When I first saw it, because I'm looking at it on a phone at that point, like
It's fine.
I was like, oh, it's camo. And then when I saw more, saw it better, and
Do I
I was like,
regret buying this jersey? No.
no, absolutely not.
I like it. It's a very nice kit.
I like, the snake on it and the fact that it doesn't say bimbo on the front. Because, okay, like I don't necessarily enjoy walking around with a jersey with bimbo across my chest. Um, necessarily because people that don't know,
Yeah.
it's kind of
I
weird,
I
but
like the snake badge.
I do like the snake badge.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot to like about this kit. So,
Yes.
let's actually get into the Soccer Hall of Fame. So,
Yes. Let's.
and I'll get back to the story. I was talking to the two guys working the shop in Soccer 90, but let's first talk about the Hall of Fame. So,
Yes.
you walk in and everything as soon as you walk in, check in, they were really nice. I said hi, and I had my Join or Die T-shirt on. And they're like, "Oh, Philadelphia Union. Where are you from?" I'm like, "Lancaster, Pennsylvania." And they're like, "Oh, awesome, awesome. What brings you here?" And I told them. And what was really interesting was the guy like brings me over to the kiosk, and he's like, "Enter your email." Enter my email and my name. And he's like, "Everything in there is interactive." So within there, you go in there and like you walk up to like a display, and there'll be like a little like computer screen or touch screen, and I'll say, "Hi, Kyle." And so it goes to, are you a casual fan? Are you a
Hmm.
diehard fan? Who are your teams? Like you
Yeah.
get to choose all the American from, I think it's MLS, national team, obviously. And then it has a smattering of European teams that has USL Champions League
Hmm.
and League One, which I was really happy they brought some USL in there. Like
Yeah.
that was cool.
That's
Uh
cool.
and of course I choose my team is Union.
Yes.
I did look at the Las Vegas Lights, but they're kind of more of because it's Vegas,
Right.
but nothing to do with that actually. I follow them, but very casually. Like
Hmm.
it's all about the Union for me.
Absolutely.
But I did actually like look at some of the Las Vegas Lights stuff on there, just to
Yeah.
learn a
Yeah.
little bit more about their history. It was kind of interesting.
Yes.
So when you walk in, you can go right or left. I go right, and the first thing you come to is a lot of the old like soccer from like
Mhm.
back in 60s, 70s, NASL, um, you know, kits. I'm pretty sure that's the Philadelphia Adams from back in the day.
I wonder how much of this stuff my dad would know about too.
I know.
It'd be fun to have the local legend on here.
Of course, they talk about, the Cosmos and
Yeah.
the King comes to New York, kind of
Yep.
like what we're dealing with now with Messi.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and it was very interesting just reading about how big it was. They had a lot
When
of,
Pele came to
yeah, and
Cosmos.
reminds me very much of now. This is another
Hmm.
chapter of that for American professional
Yes.
soccer. And then, of course, you have Tampa Bay Rise, which I love that kit. That was always
That
one of
is
my,
cool.
as a kid, I always was like, I used to go to the New York Cosmos soccer camp,
Hmm.
and they always talk about the rivalry with the Rowdies. And I always just be, I love the Rowdies. Um, and then they had some other ones, and here's two MLS teams. And another MLS team that is, they didn't have their kit, but another MLS team that's in there?
Hmm.
Portland.
Oh.
They're in them. Yep. I love this Sounders kit. I was talking to Todd about this. I think this is a better crest
Hmm.
than their current crest. I love that little Sounders with the little water there and all
Hmm.
that. Yeah, I like that kit. They have the Washington Dips. And then just kind of transitioning into like that, and that was kind of the start of the MLS version 1.
Hmm.
Another thing they did very well here is they spent a lot of time on the women's game.
Nice.
They did, and there was a
So we got
lot
Mia
of
Hamm there.
they did a lot of displays on that, just about the women's soccer evolution in America. I was really a fan of that. Was it a ton? No. Could they have done more? Yes.
It-
But at least they're, you know,
yeah, you figure how big like the women's national team has been in the
Yeah.
US, you know? It's at times it's like more popular than the men's,
Right.
you know?
And to be fair, they've really done an amazing job. I mean, obviously this year's World Cup was a disappointment, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. Um, there's some more stuff. And then as you walked around the corner,
Yeah.
so they had all these like things like take a shot on Tim Howard and
Yeah.
like headers and like all these VAR things.
Some different interactive things.
Yeah, I did a couple of them. They're fun. But as you come around the corner, they had a couple of VARs. But I turned around, they had this map of soccer in America, and you had USL, MLS, MLS Next Pro,
Mhm.
um, and then USL Champion in League One, and that's the whole map. And you look at that, and oh, this is a funny story. Guy comes up to me and goes, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Philadelphia Union." Well, not from Philadelphia, but I'm from Philadelphia, Lancaster area, big
Mhm.
Union guy. And he goes, "Oh man, they are such a great team."
Yeah.
And I was looking over some of these teams in here, looking the women's league and WSL, and so it was really cool to see that.
Nice.
And then here's talked a little bit about the formation of MLS. And then here are all the champions from last year. All right, we're gonna X
Sure.
that. Yeah. And by the way, that's video screen on top.
Don't tell me it had
Yes.
oh
So
no.
literally while I'm sitting there talking to the guy, I looked over and took a picture of this. They actually were showing the highlights from the MLS Cup. And
No.
and the guy and we sat there and I sat there and talked to the guy
Mhm.
for about probably 10 minutes about that game because he watched it
Yeah.
and he said to me, "That's the greatest soccer game I ever watched."
Yeah.
And in terms of like MLS. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, I was in the stadium." He's like, "Really? What was it like?" No, I talked about Elliot's goal with him. So,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Really? What was it like?" And I showed him my
Yeah.
video. And so for me, I talked about the game, talked about the aftermath. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't want to relive that.
Nope.
But I thought it was cool they had Division 1, Division 2 kids here.
Yeah.
And then they also had like some of the other leagues. So that was really kind of cool. Would love to see a Union kid up there.
Yeah.
But and then more about the men's game, some of the
Mhm.
cups, trophies, that was cool. And then so they have like this stadium club.
Yeah.
They have like which connected to Hall of Fame, like their stadium club. Because if you guys don't know, where the Soccer Hall of Fame is also Toyota Stadium where FC Dallas plays.
Yeah.
So what happens is they basically had closed for that day, and I asked the guy, I'm like, "Look, I'm with, I have a podcast that covered the union." They opened it up,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, we usually open this up not on today, but we usually open up during normal business hours." I said, "Okay." So I walked in, and they had this like, all these trophies, and the only problem I had with it was like all scattered, like
Yeah.
it wasn't in chronological order. So I thought that would
Okay.
have been cool. And then they had some more things. And then I asked the guy, "Could you open up the doors?" Because they
Mhm.
said, "Oh, we can't open up to the stadium." And the one guy's like, "I can let you go out here." So
That's
lets me
cool.
go out. And so this is Toyota Stadium. And I walked around a little bit afterwards. And it's a cool little spot. And I'll cover that in a bit.
Do you know what like the capacity is for it?
I do not. I think it's right around what the Union are.
Okay.
And then I came back in the other way, and it goes into
American Outlaws. Which,
yes,
by the way, we're in American Outlaws too. Yes.
American Outlaws, and
Lancaster
also
chapter.
yeah, and then they talked a little bit about the rise of the MLS.
Mhm.
They had a nice little screen about the rise of the MLS, and then they
Mhm.
talked about soccer in Dallas. And here's some other things, and then it kind of goes into the men's team a little
Mhm.
bit. Took some pictures there, and then
Nice.
it kind of finished up with again another little area on the other side of the supporters culture of America.
Nice.
And then when you go in front, they have this nice scarves of all like, you know, US
Mhm.
college teams throughout the United States.
Did you find the Union in there somewhere?
It's in there.
Nice.
So, and then the kiosks are right here.
That's cool.
So
That's very cool.
yeah, so that's kind of a little showing of my trip to Soccer Hall of Fame, and then I did get to talk to some people that are FC Dallas fans and talked a little bit about their supporter culture and their academy, and, you know, they were very high on the Union. The guy I was talking to was very, knowledgeable of MLS, and he goes, "Oh, man, we got the best 2 academies in MLS," and I said,
Mhm.
"We do." He goes, "Dallas is better." I go, "I beg to differ," but, you know
Mhm.
it was one of those kind of things, but
Right.
funny story about FC Dallas, well,
Yes.
FC Dallas. Um, their supporters, their academy, they train at the main site, but
Yeah.
then they also train like 45 minutes away. So they have like a couple groups. And I said, so because I was explaining how, right now they're at YSC out in Wayne, right?
Yeah.
And now they're gonna be moving here. And he goes, "Well, we have a couple groups here, and then we have a couple groups there. It's kinda, wherever anybody can
Yeah.
play, and it kinda sporadic." And I said, "So then where does North Texas, the, MLS Next Pro play?" And he goes, "Oh, they sometimes play north of here, about another 30 minutes away." And I'm like, "Oh." So they're kinda all spread out, and I'm like, "Don't they centralize it?" They go, "They do, like, North Texas trains here, but then they play games somewhere else, and, um but then sometimes they play here, it
Mhm.
just depends." So I was like, "Okay." And then they were talking about the supporters culture a lot,
Yeah.
and, they said they have very online, it's very the one guy was telling me it's very vocal online against
Mhm.
the ownership. They want ownership to spend more, and You know, I guess ownership is kinda like we are with the academy, they're gonna bring
Mhm.
things up, but the fans want them to spend more, obviously. Um, and so but they're very loud, they're very passionate, although they did say, with the Houston and Austin that at times, Houston also brings more fans than they do.
Mhm.
Sometimes, you know, they got their fans, but they feel like the support could be a little bit better at times.
Yeah.
Um, Overall area, beautiful. There's shopping markets, restaurants all around
Mhm.
there. So there's a lot to do, easy access to get on and off, lots of parking.
Nice.
I'm Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. So at the end of the day, it was a great trip. I'm glad I went.
Good. Good. Well, hey, I mean, that's always interesting to see, another stadium and the going to the Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yes. So I think it sounds like Dallas is a cool place to visit. Just their
I
football
would
team sucks.
I, I would go to a game there. I would like to go back there, spend more time in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I like to spend more time talking to those guys because, like you were saying, Austin's fans were like marching all around the stadium waiting to
Yeah.
get in.
Right.
And we were just sitting there.
Right.
And like, I'm like, what do you mean we're just sitting there? We're in a parking lot just watching this. I'm like, gee. Now the cool thing is when they march right in to their
Yeah.
section. So that's kind of cool. But um, I really kind of want to go back and talk more. But it sounds like they got a good culture there. There's a lot of like flags and banners around there.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that.
Well,
So
maybe someday we'll go to an away game there.
all right. So let's talk real quick about
Yeah,
bi-
FC Cincinnati coming to town, and we've got kick childhood cancer, um, all that coming up.
so it's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah,
I mean, but I guess my question is, do we need 3 points?
absolutely.
Yeah, no, at this point we need all the points we can get.
We can
And
because you saw what happened last year. 1 point, 1 point. Okay, and it was a lot of well, if this game would have gone this way, if we would at least gotten a tie on the road at such and such place. There was a lot of those games where maybe it didn't seem as big at the time, but that was the difference between us hosting the cup
mm,
and honestly probably winning it at home and not. So every point matters at this point, and it's very tight in the East. I mean, we need them to kind of start having a bit of a meltdown and for us to have things going our way if we want to really catch them. But you know what's going to happen? Watch this happen. Watch Cincinnati. Okay, maybe they get the top seed. Watch them come up against like freaking Miami making it into the playoffs or something. And
I
then,
was thinking about that today at the gym.
yeah.
Actually, if let's say we get the second seed
Mm-hmm.
and we have to play in the MLS Eastern Conference Finals, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take one game again. I'd take a redemption game against Messi. I would take a redemption game in a heartbeat. Now, am I going to be confident about it? You know, we know what a loaded Miami team could do. But against a sold-out crowd, that place is going to be nuts. And if we get an early goal,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dallas got close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nashville got close.
When the
Cincinnati
guys
got
don't get all
close.
starstruck by, oh my God, it's Messi on the field, you know?
It's kind of like the NYCFC game last year. You know, that was payback for the year before.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some payback. That being said,
kind of want a redemption song. No,
although
I'm really
number one, I want to see Miami not make the playoffs, but if they do, and let's all agree, it's freaking scripted.
You knock out, if Miami were to knock out Cincinnati, I'm glad you brought this up because if they knock out Cincinnati and we make it through, I really, and maybe everybody's laughing at me and they're like, God, you don't know soccer, but I really like our chances. I really do. I mean, Kansas City, really, even last night. Now, granted, they didn't have everybody there last night. Really exposed them. Calendar. I mean, it's not sort of.
Calendar was not that good.
So, getting back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
If we're healthy, if everybody's in check, and we play our game, we don't play, you know, have a bad game. If we play to their abilities, I still say we can beat any team in this league.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Cincinnati's good, but they've also been exposed at times. Like they're not, and they actually concede. We actually have a better goal differential than them, but like they will concede.
But Pat knows our team.
Oh, he does. He does.
Pat knows our team. I want to say, if we're playing a great game and we get out of there with the draw, cool. But I'm going to be disappointed because we dropped points.
Right. We did not drop points.
We need a win on Saturday.
Yes.
Especially with, then you got to turn around. You go to Charlotte. That's always a tough place on turf for us.
Yeah.
Then you got LAFC.
Yep.
Then you got Dallas.
Yep.
And then you go to Columbus.
Yep.
And then you're back with
Columbus
Atlanta.
Has been hot.
And then you got back with Atlanta.
Yep. And they've been hot.
And then you got Nashville.
And well, they've been very good as well. So
my question
is, we do not
is,
have an easy rest of the schedule.
We don't. And then we finish out the season after an international break with New England. And then we go to the playoffs.
And with New England, who knows? Of course, the news last night, Bruce Arena is out. And
yeah.
So
I mean, it's showtime. I mean, we
can't drop any points.
We really can't. I mean, I don't think the cups, I mean, the Supporters Shield is in reach at this point. That's okay.
We would need a lot of things to go our way. It's okay. We need to get the cup.
We do. I mean, at this point, we really, really do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, it needs to happen this year because who knows how much longer this group of guys is going to be together and the caliber of players that we have all at once. But
this is it.
I mean, they need to do it.
This is it, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be big players that are not coming back next year.
Oh, this is
it.
Fact. God, I hope we can bring back Kai though, but we're not gonna open up that whole can of worms right now.
We'll talk about that another time.
But hey, we gotta do it for the kids too. It's gonna be Kick Childhood Cancer Night on Saturday. Come on, Union, do it for the kids. First and foremost, that's always such a great event for these kids that are going through something that they should not have to go through.
Correct.
Cancer sucks no matter what, but
changes lives.
But kids having to go through it is cruel, and you know, we we'll be there to support them. I love that the union supports this cause, and we know families have been touched by this, and it's just, I really like what they at least do for the kids, and
Right.
so it should be a special night. I'm proud to have one of those tops that they put out for this year. I think they look awesome. The Kick Childhood Cancer tops. I wore that to school on Friday, actually. And so yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a special night. It's gonna be a great game. Everyone show up and be loud. And if you're in the river end, I swear to God, get loud. Don't be just standing there. Okay. Get loud. Because I can say against the Red Bulls, there were too many people just kind of standing there.
Mhm.
People better get loud.
Oh,
Okay.
and news break for
Yeah.
this game. I'll be in the river end.
Yes. Down with the real fans. No offense to our people that go in the press box.
No, I think I know we need to bring
I
lucky jerseys to this game. This is lucky
yeah.
jersey game.
Yeah. So
So, make sure to check out the tailgate and the festivities. It's gonna be a great week. And episode 50 is coming. So last week I dropped a poll. I mean, this is episode 46. We're 4 away
that
from.
far in.
I
Woo.
know. So if you got a comment for guests, we have one already, thanks to Jeff. He had recommended somebody, but if
Yeah,
you
we
get,
have some people that we're planning on. And despite what I tweeted, no, it's not Stuart Finley coming back on, although I'd love to have him on again sometime. But
we can make that happen.
I'd love to have Stu on again.
But yeah,
sometime.
send us your thoughts who you'd love to see for episode 50. But so that's all for this week's episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. We love hearing from you. If you have any ideas on future episodes or guests, please send them our way.
And until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
And we'll see you at the game.
Go Birds.